What's up, Orange Theory coaches? This is Coach Jess from Idlewood in Virginia. I'm coming at you with day 9 for December 9th of that 12 days of fitness. It's a Saturday, so lots of people probably rolling in, getting those blankets. So have fun, take pictures, and celebrate them completing their day 6. All right, so today we have the classic ESP. Everyone loves a good ESP workout, but also maybe think of a way to spice up your lobby intro rather than straight shooting like endurance all around the first round, then strength, and then ending with power. Maybe talk a little bit about how there's going to be some endurance on the treads. Hey, if you've been having trouble hitting that base to push, listen to Coach. I'm going to get you guys there. We're going to be successful today. And then on the strength round, hey, we're going to get our choice of inclines today. And then who knows, in that power round, maybe a PR day, or maybe you're just going to add an incline to that all out today, or, and so on, and talk a little bit about that floor. So maybe spice it up a little bit rather than traditional like endurance, power, strength, and all that good stuff. All right, so in block 1 on the treads, we're going to be focusing on endurance a little over 7 minutes long. You have 3 rounds of that push to base. Let them know that push is going to stay at that 1 minute. That base will start at 1 minute, but increase by 15 seconds each round. And then we're going to kill it at the end with that 30-second all out. So this is where you're going to encourage those members to really understand that they don't have to really choose that speed and increase it every time just because they get a longer base. Help them feel successful on holding that entire block all the way through the all out. They're going to feel so good. But don't forget, every now and then you can challenge people. You got those runners in your class. Maybe you're like, hey guys, if you know that you love endurance days and you got that push to base, how about today pick either a base or a push that you're going to try to increase today. And then you can have some fun with that rather than just push to base, push to base, push to base that most members who come a lot generally know about. On that second block, it's going to be focusing on strength, 6.5 minutes long. Let them know that they're going to be holding a base speed for 6.5 minutes, going through 3 rounds, alternating between a climb and flat road. Let them know their climb is going to be 45-second efforts, and then returning back to flat road for 75 seconds. Joggers and runners get a choice and give them that visual. They can start at 4 or 7. If you start at 4, we're going to take it down each round, so it'll be 4, 3, 2, or if you just start at 7, 7, 6, and 5. And then power walkers, you also get to choose 6 to 9% or greater. Wherever you start, you're taking it down 1% on each round. And then let them know at the beginning how that's going to feel at those higher inclines. Depending on what they're choosing, it's either going to feel like a push, or possibly those who chose a bit higher, it's going to feel more of like an aggressive push. And just encourage that they are going to maintain that same base speed even as it comes down. And also let them know, we've noticed on heart rates, and let them know that it's okay that sometimes even though we're coming down on those inclines, some of those heart rates are still escalating or staying elevated. And then have them use the opportunity at the flat road to catch their breath, teach them to slow down their breath. And if they really have to, start pulling back on that flat road base point 1 at a time. And then they can try to hold their original base towards the end of that 75. And the last block, block 3, treads are going to be focusing on power. Be sure to include how many all outs they're going to get to. They have 5 30-second all outs total with walking recoveries that will increase each round starting at 45 seconds. Be sure to always pair your work and rest. So first up, 30-second all out to 45-second walking recovery. Give them ideas of goals that they can set, always encouraging challenges, whether it's like, hey guys, maybe you're going to slowly add to that and get to your best 30-second all out by the end, or maybe you already know that max speed you want to do and you're going to try to do it all 5 times. Or maybe somewhere in the middle, you're encouraging like, hey, check in on how you're feeling during that walking recovery. If you're like, man, I might need to pull back on that 4th all out, I'm gonna save it and go big on that last one. Also, I like to encourage my members that are like, I'm not ready to go up in that speed, but I feel like I want to, but I'm not sure. Just let them know like, hey, joggers and runners, maybe add a 2 or 3% incline to that 30-second all out. That's still a PR. So if you want to go for that, let's see that and have fun with the all outs. Power is one of my favorite things to coach. So really up the amp and energy to get them through that final block. And block 1 on the floor, focusing on endurance. It's going to be all strap work. And also let them know that this is going to prime their bodies for blocks 2 and 3. It's going to be using the same muscle groups that they're going to load with some heavy weights in that second block, focusing on strength. And then they're going to make sure that they get explosive at the last block, focusing on power. So some things to look for on that strap Y raise. A common error that you're going to see is people bending their elbows. They really want to get that biceps involved so that they can get to that position. So when you see that, remind them about the form on their arms, or maybe they need to step back to be able to be successful in that Y raise. I always just think of like a cheerleader that's like, let's go. So however you guys can bring that up to life, where they're extending their arms up and out to that Y, and that they're pulling back with their upper back muscles to keep that strap nice and tight at the top, and then they're going to control in keeping it nice and tight as they're bringing it down. So they're engaging through that movement the entire time. Another one is a single arm reach with rotation. I like to talk about like, hey guys, we're not going to do a trust fall. So as soon as they like swing arms back, you see everyone flying and just falling, and then basically just holding on for dear life. So let them know like we're controlling the movement on the way up and you control it on the way down. In block 2, we're gonna switch our focus to strength. We got some back-to-back, and where they're gonna complete 2 rounds of each back-to-back section. Make sure you let them know back-to-back means 0 to minimal rest. And they should be picking up weights that really challenge them with that rep range of 6 to 10. So if they're going super heavy, then they're probably gonna be closer to that 6 to 7. If they're more moderately heavy, then maybe upwards. But this time the goal is to ask them to increase that weight the second round. So let them know that that's the goal. So that way, maybe the first round, they're going a little bit higher in that 6 to 10 rep range, and they should try to increase their weight, and they're going to find themselves lower at the 6 to 8 rep range. So really encourage that. Walk around. Don't be afraid to challenge people if you feel like you need to challenge them, but make sure you always go up to them and go, hey, how does that weight selection feel? Most of the time, members are like, I think I can go a little heavier. Or if you had that relationship with that one member where you're walking over with a big grin and handing over those weights, make sure that they're feeling the difference from that circuit to strength before we switch it up to power and explosiveness. Last block on the floor, they're going to be focusing on power, in which that they're going to need a rest before each exercise. 3 exercises. They should be so explosive and powerful that they need that rest. And so make sure to let them know that, but also that their reps are going to decrease by 2 each round, and so they should try to increase the explosiveness. A common thing that you're going to see with speed skaters is just kind of this like, you know, people are just kind of going back and forth. There should just be a takeoff if they're choosing that full option, and if they're taking it down, they could still be powerful even if they're taking out the jump, still going off of that foot explosively. So it's still needed to hit that power element even through the Once they're done with all 3 rounds, they're gonna row for a distance until time is called for that finisher. They're all set up on the rowers, and they're gonna hit a 30-second all out. Make sure you guys give enough time, at least 1 minute out on the floor if people are still working through those 3 rounds. So you're gonna be like, heads up on the floor. If you're still working, we got 1 minute left before we need to get set up on the rowers and get ready for that 30-second all out. In 3G, pretty similar, just shorter blocks on the treads and floor, and then you got those row blocks. In that first block, endurance, kind of encourage members to keep it moving, minimal rest, keep those heart rates elevated, pay attention to their heart rates on the screen, and maybe you can encourage them through the heart rate zones, coach the OT beat screen on that. When it comes to the strength portion, look for those back breakers. You're gonna see a lot of that on strength days because they're really trying to, especially if they're getting that powerful leg drive and slow it down on the way forward. Sometimes they can end up getting way too excited, heading way back. We all know a good way to correct them is to have your hand come to the back and make sure you go, hey, once you feel my hand, that's where we need to stop. Then all out on the last one, they've got some all out rows. Even their medicine ball work is power work, so lots of power. Encourage them, hey guys, really try to maintain that all-out intensity. Again, focusing on giving them some watt goals or split time goals, a time range to stay in between. And then, yeah, that is the classic ESP. Again, we all know what an ESP is, but let's see if there's a way you guys can spice it up for day 9, bring it to life, and have a lot of fun. All right, guys.